It may seem obvious, but our seasonal guides will all soon be needing a watch through and through, as each can and will build off one another. That being said, since I have yet to get another one out beyond the winter one, I should probably get to work on that notion. So, the spring guide is here, and although the coming of the rains brings with it some mighty changes, I still believe that spring is one of the easiest stretches of time to survive and don't starve. Not because it sees rains being your largest concern, but because you should have already been fully prepared for the season 2 seasons ago. In other words, to prepare for spring means to prepare for winter. And to prepare for winter, our journey begins in autumn. I've said it twice, so I guess I'll say it thrice. Natural resource farms are a must if you wish to survive effectively. So, stop dilly-dallying and dig up some saplings anywhere you can find them. Go ahead and pillage grass from the grasslands, the guardian pigs, or any other locations you find them, and snatch up some berry bushes from Moose Goose herself, or just about anywhere. And bring it all together by day 10 to 12, and you already have a well-functioning base of operations. But use whatever remaining time you have in autumn to become an arson and destroy nature as we know it, so that you can use the crap ton of charcoal you're gonna get to construct your cooking stations. And yes, certainly some drying racks along the way. Oh, and nab a gear off some dead machines or something for an ice box or two as well. Food preparation and enrichment boxes have been checked, but do yourself a favor and try to get farms up too. Sure, winter is coming and nothing will grow, but come spring, things are gonna be leaping out of the soil right into your belly. Farms are gosh darn useful, dang it, so get 'em, use 'em, and love 'em for Pete's sake. With all that done, you are either a day or two away or have just finished as the seasons begin to turn. Now, all you need to do is survive winter. But this is not a winter guide. It's a spring guide. So go ahead and watch the winter guide if you are struggling with that. But our priority today is Deerclops. We need to kill him through any means necessary. For the eye he drops can be made into what is known as the Eyebrella, and it's an item that not only prevents overheating faster, it comes with 100% resistance to wetness, and that is truly something to consider when we know what season is coming next. And oh yeah, it also prevents lightning strikes from having any effect on you. But that reminds me, bloody get a lightning rod up if you haven't already. Lightning strikes are far more likely in spring than any other time in Don't Starve together. So let's not have all of your hard work go to waste immediately once the seasons turn. Heck, maybe even get 2 lightning rods. With that said, spring is here. But what exactly does that entail? Well, it means rain. Lots of rain. And your sanity will actually decrease by 5 per minute whenever the water is falling from the sky. But that can be negated with any of the rain gear that you equip. But make note, the wetter you get, the worse it becomes. Rain also has negative effects on fire pits, campfires, torches, and even Willow's lighter. All of which will extinguish far faster, as in like 150 to 250% faster during the downpours. But how do we go about protecting ourselves from it? Well, we should already have the Eyebrella, which is more than enough. But let's say Deerclops is a bit too much for you currently. My 2 recommendations are the Simple Umbrella, an item that is easily craftable and provides 90% wetness resistance, or better yet, a Raincoat. An item that is slightly more involved in the crafting aspect, but it functions the same as an Eyebrella, meaning you can continue to wear the Raincoat while having head armor still. But whatever the case, you are gonna need rain gear, especially if you're playing WX. So get it before spring arrives, or just as soon as possible. Now that our base and our person are looking mighty fine and protected from the elements, let's go ahead and discuss all the changes in the world itself when spring comes. Ice glaciers are gonna begin to melt, if not already melted. So hopefully you did in fact gather a ton of it, for storing the ice in the icebox makes ice an amazing filler all year round. Flowers can and will spawn regardless of whether bees are around or not, so they can be continued to be used for whatever purpose you please, and even more so in spring. But you can't please the bees. All bees within the constant are now hostile to the player no matter what for the remainder of the season. But thankfully, normal bees don't all become actual killer bee variants. But honestly though, bees are easy to handle, so this is not that big of a deal. But this may be a big of a deal and a shocker, especially if you've been relying on them for these past 2 seasons. Our rabbit friends have retreated, and the rabbit holes are actually crumbled in on themselves throughout the season. So I really hope you haven't put all your eggs in one basket when it comes to food sources. But speaking of food, the beef are in heat. Get too close and they will chase your behind in hopes to make it as red as theirs. But a beefalo hack can negate any of the negatives there. So you still have access to poop, you still have access to fur, and, of course, you can always lure one away to kill by itself. Houndways will actually consistently have blue hounds spawning far more frequently regardless of the season now. And the farther you get, the more this becomes. So perhaps have a strategy in place for that already. But just make sure your trap area hasn't been completely blown to smithereens like mine before the hound wave even comes. Idiot. And lure plants will actually begin to become one heck of a nuisance. But we'll talk about them more at another time because they can actually be quite darn useful if you use them correctly. But there is a pressing issue that needs our attention. The potential for frog rain. With frog rain comes, you guessed it, raining frogs. And this natural phenomenon is super annoying if you just mill about your own base. But just don't frickin' do that. Run into a trap setup or bring them to the horny beefalo to get them slaughtered. And slaughtered they will be. That, or perhaps Moose Goose herself can help you out too. And maybe even get herself killed in the process without you even lifting a finger. This is a fantastic way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But whatever the case, the end result is always going to be the same with frog rain. A crap ton of frog legs to be used however you like. A single frog rain can net you enough potential food to last you dozens upon dozens of days. So please try your best to make the most of one if you get one during spring. But you know what you can't really take advantage of, unfortunately? Drying racks. Well, at least not efficiently. Meat will dry slower if wet, and yeah, that's like questioning if the world is flat, so I have no arguments there. But just keep that in mind for any food prep you happen to wish to do. But let's also remember though that crops can potentially grow up to 300% faster in the rain, while also benefiting from a 25% bonus for it just being spring, for Pete's sake. Farming and crop harvesting are the kings of spring when it comes to food. However, do not neglect your other resource farms. Pick your twigs, pluck your grass, and get them berries, as they will all grow faster as well. And I recommend picking them when all of them are fully grown ASAP. Plus, if you've done the berry pen method, you'll be getting some extra meat along the way. But it's time to get thinking bigger. And by bigger, I mean Moose Goose is now the biggest thing on the map to even think about. I would delve deeper into how to murder her if we didn't just do it 2 weeks ago. So for now, just bear with me as we discuss her loot. Mama and her demon spawns will be dropping down feathers, and quite a bit too, so grab what you can to make either a luxury fan, an item that can instantly lower your temperature by 50 degrees per use, put out nearby fires, and even have the same cooling effect on other players nearby once you use it. And keep this item in mind considering the season that will soon follow. They can also be smashed together with a Volt Goat horn and a gear to create what is known as a Weather Pane. A weapon that really serves more as a tool, as it can be used to chop trees down and damage things from afar with relative ease. And of course, you can forever remember your epic battle with the gooses of all mooses with the commemorative statue if you have a potter's wheel, and it's magnificent. One final note, the rain will follow you into the caves as well, which will result in wetness and thus even more sanity loss. So don't even think that you can try to avoid the sogginess by going down under. It's just not gonna work. Spring is harvesting season. There is just no other way to put it, folks. Apart from a small chance of potential danger, the season is very straightforward and easily beatable as long as you protect yourself and your base from the elements. And when spawning into a new world, just think ahead. Plan accordingly, prep well, and through doing so, not only survive winter, but be prepared to make the most out of spring. But for now, I am done. But thanks for watching, everyone. Good luck out there. Stay dry, and I'll see you for some summer lovin'. Bye-bye.